sports bettors, I'm in the Bahamas because I gamble a lot. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how on Caesars Sportsbook, which is a sportsbook a lot of people have access to, you can get a free trip to the Bahamas, free drinks, everything you could possibly want. So you may be wondering, how did you get this free trip to the Bahamas? And it's from Caesars Sportsbook in their rewards program. Now you may be thinking, well, if you're a profitable sports bettor, why would Caesars send you to the Bahamas? And the reason is you have to remember Caesars is largely a casino. They're largely taking bets on games like slots, war, blackjack. And those are games where it's impossible to get an edge and win long term. It is impossible to play slots long term and make money. Sports betting, as well as poker, are basically the only two forms of gambling where you can actually have an edge and win long term, but most people can't do that, so Caesars Sportsbook doesn't really care. So I do want to preface, I'm at the highest tier of the Caesars Rewards program. It's called 7 stars, where you need 1 million credits. But even if you're just on the platinum tier, they give you a free trip to the Bahamas, basically the exact same thing. So even if you're not betting much on Caesars, this is a perk you probably already have if you've been betting on them relatively frequently. By the way, guys, a lot of other sportsbooks, it's not just Caesars. DraftKings, BetMGM have pretty good reward point systems as well, where you can get free trips, some monetary benefits, free gifts, stuff like that. It's an added benefit of betting. I consider it very similar to cash back for a credit card. So whatever book you're using, you know, books are in different locations. So even if you don't have access to Caesars, you may have access to other books like DraftKings, like BetMGM, or books in your country if you're located in like Canada or Europe. So definitely looking into the reward point systems they have, because there's probably some benefits that you're not taking advantage of. So one thing about Caesars Sportsbook that makes them a little better than other sportsbooks is they have relatively high betting limits. So a lot of sportsbooks like DraftKings, because I've been profitable on them, you can see I'm up over $200,000 on DraftKings. They've cut my betting limits pretty low, below $100 a bet. But what's nice about Caesars is I still have pretty high betting limits. And this year I've been able to hit bets for $5,000, $4,000, numbers like that. Not every single bet. Some of the more niche betting markets like player props, I'm not able to bet that much. But in general, Caesars is one of the books where I can get down a lot more action, which is a big benefit and obviously makes it easier to rack up reward points. Get your free trip to the Bahamas. They also have a free trip to like Dubai, some stuff like that, but regardless, pretty fascinating. So let's go through what are some of the ways, strategies, you can build up these reward points on Caesars or other sports books. So one of the strategies I recommend to all new bettors is arbitrage betting. Okay, so this is how I made my first $40,000 sports betting, and I know this sounds a little too good to be true, but arbitrage is a way that you can make risk-free profits off the sports books. And the reason it's possible is because all of these books have different odds from one another. If every single sports book, DraftKings, Caesars, FanDuel, if they all had the same odds, we wouldn't need hundreds of sports books like there are. They all have their own models that set lines independently, so they all have different prices or odds. Now that is vastly different from the stock market. Right, if the price of Facebook is $300, you're not gonna see it on E-Trade at $200 and at $400 on Fidelity. It doesn't happen in the stock market, it only happens in sports betting. The market is very inefficient or fragmented, which is why you can make a lot of money betting on sports. So arbitrage betting is rare, but out of the millions of odds across sports books, usually a very small fraction, maybe 0.1%, are arbitrage plays where that book is so out of sync with another sports book that you can bet the over and the under and make a risk-free profit. So here's an example I locked in between Caesars and Barstool. Now one thing I do want to mention is arbitrage can occur between any sports books. It's not just Barstool, Caesars. You can use this strategy to make risk-free returns, profits off FanDuel, DraftKings, Flip, Bet365, whatever books you use. But you're gonna see Barstool, they have Kenny Pickett over 31.5 passing attempts at plus 105 odds. Caesars is way different, right? They have that at like minus 140. So we found this massive inefficiency in the market. So I bet $178 because that's the max. You can see Barstool limited me. Otherwise I would have bet this for like $5,000 if I could have, but they limited me to 178. So I bet 178 on Barstool on Pickett over 31.5 passing attempts at plus 105 odds. And then I bet 178 as well on his under at plus 104 odds on Caesars. So these are equal and opposite outcomes, right? One bet is gonna win, one is gonna lose. He's either gonna go over or under. One bet wins, one bet loses. So imagine he goes over 31.5 passing attempts, right? Then my bet on Caesars loses, but I'm still getting those reward credits, right? So I'm getting closer to my free trip to the Bahamas. And also Caesars, you can get like cash back too. They have additional benefits you can get. Almost every sportsbook has some form of cash back. But if the over wins, if he has 32 or more, on Barstool, I'm winning 178 times 1.05. So that's about $9 in profit because I'm losing 178 on Caesars, right? Because he didn't go under, but I'm winning 178 times 1.05, which is over 178. I have like $9 of additional profit on Barstool. Now, on the other hand, if he goes under, it's the same thing. I make like $7 or $8 on Caesars because I lose 178 on Barstool, but I make like 185 on Caesars, and I get my reward points as an added benefit. So you can see I've covered all outcomes, right? If Kenny Pickett goes over, I make money. My bet on Barstool wins, Caesars loses. If he goes under, then I lose my bet on Barstool, but I win my bet on Caesars, and I'm still getting these reward credits no matter what, if my bet wins or loses, and that's why I'm chilling here in the Bahamas. So arbitrage betting is great. It's a way to make risk-free money. It's how I made my first $40,000 sports betting, and you're basically just hustling, grinding out profits, day trading sports books, and inefficiencies in the market. But some people, they like having sweats on. I like having sweats on. So another tool I really recommend that is gonna make you money long term is positive expected value betting. It's also known as positive EV betting. So again, all these sports books have different odds, and sometimes they make mistakes. So what you can do is you can go to the Oddsjam positive EV tool, which by the way, there's a 7-day free trial of Oddsjam. You can try it out, see if you make some money with it. But essentially all the positive EV tool is showing you is bets that are mistakes on Caesars where you're getting odds that are essentially too good to be true. So again, Oddsjam is scanning the hundreds of thousands of lines on Caesars to point out these few betting opportunities that are actually profitable and will make you a positive expected return long term. Let me know if you have any questions at all about arbitrage, and make sure to sign up for your 7-day free trial of Oddsjam.